Hey guys, Matty Gazelle here, back with more NFL picks for week number 14. I continue my terrible tradition of not getting this out before Thursday Night Football, but it's always just one game, and in this case, I didn't know who to pick. I didn't know who to pick, the Cowboys or the Bears. Both have been very meh this year. But I did pick the Cowboys to win, but the Bears laid a whoop down on the Cowboys. Not looking good in Jerry World over there. So that was the first game happened Thursday, but we have every other game to talk about, so let's get to it. Colts at Buccaneers. This is a do or die game for the Colts. I think they're borderline out of the playoff picture. I'm not really sure what their record is. But I know the Titans have been surging as of late, and the Texans are definitely leading the division at the moment. So this is a very important game for the Colts. But the Buccaneers are not a pushover. They're actually playing pretty tough. They have a pretty decent defense, and their offense is either amazing or really mistake prone. Flip a coin on which one you're going to get. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here. I just feel like their upside is higher than the Colts in this game. And I would not be surprised if the Bucs go off. Jameis Winston's prone to do that. So that's game number 1. Game number 2, we have Ravens at Bills. If you ask me, this is the best game of the day. Mainly because I'm really interested by this Bills team. They're really kind of fun and exciting. And as I'm a Vikings fan, I always like to pick a team in the AFC to root for. And this year, it's definitely the Bills. I like their underdog status. I like how it's kind of fresh to have the Bills in the playoffs. Also, if the Bills somehow won this game, they would have the same record as the Ravens, I believe. I think the Bills are 9-3 and the Ravens are 10-2. So they would have the tiebreaker over the Ravens, and they would only be a game back from the Patriots for the division. So suddenly the Bills have a chance at the number 1 seed in the NFL, or in the AFC, which is crazy. That'd be so cool, though, wouldn't it, to see the Bills as like the top seed? And I'm going to pick them as my upset pick of the week. I like the Ravens a lot. I'm not disrespecting them, but I think the Bills are due for that one exciting, thrilling game. The fans deserve it. The NFL deserves it. Going Bills here in a big spot. Lions and Vikings. The Vikings, that loss on Monday night hurt me so much because it's one of those games we could have had it. This is the common trope with Vikings games. You could have had it, but you didn't finish. We were leading at half, 17-14 or whatever it was. We were up by a field goal, I think, at least. It was a really good game. Just sloppy mistakes. The Diggs juggling interception. The Dalvin Cook injured play where he fumbled the ball at around 20. Obviously, they had the pick 6. So, I mean, I guess you could say that all balanced out. But it was a sloppy game in the second half. And anyway, Lions, not a very good team. They play tough, but going to the Vikings. The Vikings are the only NFC team that's undefeated at home, and the reason is they play very well at home. And I just expect them to get the win here. There's probably going to be no Adam Thielen in this game, and I would not be shocked if they decide to rest Cook as well. That one's kind of up in the air. He says he's good to go. Zimmer says he's good to go, but if it were me, I'd rest him. But just because I think Alexander Mattison is a fantastic second running back. He's really underrated. I think he could definitely carry the load against this Lions team. See, I'm going Vikings there. Redskins and Packers. It would do my heart well to see the Redskins put up a fight and beat the Packers. I think it's possible. I think if they run the rock with Peterson and Geis, that they can do some damage to this Packers team. I really do think that. I'm not just saying it. I still believe the Packers are not that great of a team. As evident by their waxing from the 49ers. The 49ers destroy them. Although the 49ers are a great team. But this Packers team doesn't seem like they have a strong backbone. And I would love to see the Redskins go in there and beat them. I'm not going to project that to happen, though. I think the Packers win this game. But I think the Redskins will keep it close. Next, we have Broncos and Texans. Like I said, the Texans are leading their division. They're playing pretty good football. They just came off a win against the Patriots. They soundly beat the Patriots, too. It wasn't really that close of a game, despite what the score said. The Texans are a good team. They're a team that, when they play bad, they look bad. But when they play good, they play really good. They're kind of a get what you get kind of team. when everything's clicking, Deshaun Watson is awesome. He's definitely like one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. And this Broncos team, they have a good defense, but their offense is just so unreliable. I don't see them winning this game. Texans at home get a big win. 49ers and Saints, a lot of people will tell you this is their favorite game of the week. I couldn't argue against it. I just think Ravens and Bills is a little more exciting. The Niners, their only two losses have come against very good teams, literally last second field goals. Obviously, the one with Seahawks was overtime. So, and the Saints, so this is a huge, huge game in terms of the playoff picture. So, if the Niners lose this game, they have a strong chance at being a wild card team, which is kind of wild to think about, pun intended, I guess. But if they win, we're all of a sudden set on a collision course for that Week 17 matchup in Seattle, which I think everyone wants. The Saints, meanwhile, they just don't seem very potent. They're a good team. They're a well-rounded team. Ever since that game where they got destroyed at home by the Falcons, you have to wonder if this team doesn't have the same juice that they had in previous years. And obviously since then they've righted the ship from that little blip on the radar, and they've gone like 4-0 since then. But it's just out there, and I think this Niners team is so tough and so aggressive. I expect the Niners to win this game. And I would not be surprised if they won by double digits. No disrespect to the Saints, but I just think the Niners are so tough. They're a tough team. And I'm not saying the Saints aren't tough, but Drew Brees doesn't have that same like cannon that he used to have as an arm. But we'll see. It's a good game. It'll be really entertaining. I just think the Niners will win that game. Bengals and Browns. Browns' playoff hopes are essentially dead after they couldn't handle business against Pittsburgh. I have a few thoughts on Pittsburgh, by the way, when I get to them. And the Bengals coming off their first win, I believe, last week with Andy Dalton leading the way. Andy Dalton, they shouldn't have benched him in the first place. They needed a win, and they turned to the Red Rifle, and they got the win. I don't know. I don't really know who to pick in this game. I think this is the wrong time to play the Bengals because I feel like when they finally get that first win, there's like a sigh of relief on the team. And I feel like they'll play better now. And the Browns, you can't... What is up with this coaching staff? They have so much talent, but they're so inconsistent week after week. I think their best win streak of this year is like 2, and then they follow it up with a stinker. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with the Bengals here just because I trust Andy Dalton to be more consistent than Baker Mayfield at this point. At this point in the season, anyway. Interesting game. That'd be kind of fun to watch. Like a sloppy, bad game. But Panthers and Falcons, this is a sad matchup. Both their playoff hopes are dead and buried. I like the Falcons at home in this game. I think this is the time of year where, like, since the games don't matter that much, that the Falcons will just, like, play really well. I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel like it's going to happen. So... Did I say Panthers? I meant Falcons. Falcons will play really well in this game. I think the Falcons will win at home. Dolphins and Jets. Dolphins coming off of that really thrilling, huge, high-scoring game with Ryan Fitzpatrick leading the way against the Eagles. The Dolphins are so weird to figure out. Their bad games, they look really bad. And then their few good games they've had, they've looked like really exciting. And this reminds me of a team that just has nothing to lose, so they're just like playing with reckless abandon. Like I've heard that term used in a few articles referring to Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's kind of true. Like when you're on a bad team and you're not obviously not going to play the playoffs, just go for broke. Like we saw it last week with the touchdown pass where they split like everyone out. They had the snapper and then the kicker as the QB, and they threw it to the punter or the holder, whichever one. I forgot what the order it was, but yeah, they're having fun. They're like, the season's a wash. Let's just have fun. I like that. I'm going with the Dolphins. I don't know why. I just think they're gonna win. Chargers and Jaguars. Yet another kind of sad game because the Chargers. I don't think they've lost a single game this year by more than one score. They're a talented team. It's just the mistakes, and this has not been a good Philip Rivers year. That's been well documented by a lot of different sports channels and stuff. But and then the Jaguars are turning back to Gardner Minshew. This game could go either way. I don't really know. I'm gonna go with the Chargers just because they have more firepower than the Jaguars. I don't know who's gonna win this game though. I couldn't tell you. Chiefs Patriots. This game is titled. This is a premier game on everyone's eyes, but in my eyes, I feel like the Chiefs could stomp the Patriots here. It could go either way. Obviously, the Patriots are great at home. They always find a way to win these kind of games, but the Chiefs, if they do what the Chiefs can do and just score points and don't let the Patriots catch up, I don't see a way that Tom Brady can go back in this game. He's had a bad year, but the team around him on offense just is lacking explosiveness, and I feel like the Chiefs should be able to go in there and handle business. I don't think it'll be that close, honestly. I think it'll be that kind of game where it's like in the fourth quarter, it's Chiefs 30, Patriots 14, and then the Patriots will get like a score with 4 minutes left, and they'll try to come back, but the Chiefs will hold on to win. It's just that kind of game, I think. Titans and Raiders. This is a really good game. This is one of the better games of the week, mainly because both these teams are fighting for their playoff lives. The Raiders, especially, I feel like have been in a free fall as of late. The Titans, with Ryan Tannehill, have been playing really good football. I was reading a stat on Twitter. He's 5-1 since being the starter, which is fantastic. They've really turned this team around, and I would not be upset to see them in the playoffs just because they're a good team. I think good teams belong in the playoffs. This Raiders team, I don't think they're that good, but I feel like more people would prefer to see them in the playoffs. I think the Titans will win this game. Ryan Tannehill is just playing really well, and you got to respect when someone's playing well, and he definitely is. Should be a good game, though. I just think the Titans will win. Steelers and Cardinals. So what I want to say about the Steelers is Mike Tomlin has really changed my opinion of him this year. For the longest time, for like the past 5 or so years, I thought he was an okay coach, that he had a bad tendency to sort of have these kind of games where you go on the road against an inferior team and you just lay an egg, you lose. This happened like every year, like once or twice a year. The Steelers would just go to a team that's severely outmatched and they would somehow lose. I'm not the only one thinking that. I feel like everyone has seen that happen for the past few years. It's just one of those weird things of the Mike Tomlin era. And then, not to mention, they haven't had postseason success in a while. My opinion of Mike Tomlin was very low. But this year, you don't have Ben, you don't have Antonio Brown, you don't have Le'Veon Bell. You're playing with your third string quarterback, Duck Hodges, which, by the way, that's a cool name. And you're winning games. You're coaching your defense fantastically. They're carrying your team. And your offense is playing as good as it can under the circumstances. And you guys are in the playoff picture. You've really changed my opinion, Mike Tomlin. I like seeing a situation that makes me... it changes my opinion. And Mike Tomlin has done that this year. And it's really impressive. I think it's awesome. So, next we have Seahawks and Rams, Sunday Night Football. This should be a really good game. The Rams are literally playing for their playoff lives, because if they lose this game, the Rams and the Bears, essentially they need to win out, and they need Minnesota to slip up. Because as of right now, the Rams and the Bears can only reach 10 wins. Their best record they can have this year is 10-6, I believe. No, wait, the Rams are 7-5. So the Rams, if they lose this game, which is, they're playing the Seahawks, then they'll be in serious trouble. Because if Minnesota reaches 11 wins this year, they have 3 games left to play. Or is it 4? That's 4 games left to play. So if the Vikings win 3 of their last 4, at least, I think they clinch a playoff spot. I could be wrong. Oh, I guess that counts. If the Rams lose, they'll clinch a playoff spot with 11 wins. So the Rams playing for their lives here. They had a really huge performance last week against the Cardinals, and I don't know. This game could go either way. The Seahawks are just so damn clutch. It infuriates me every time the Russell Wilson's 5-0 against the Vikings, or 6-0 now, and every time they play, I just already know it's going to happen. He's so clutch, it hurts, and I think that'll come through again on Sunday Night Football. This should be a good game, a back against the wall game for the Rams, who have been the darling spotlight team for the past few years, and they've had kind of a down year this year, but here they are at 7-5 with a chance to make everything right. Next on Monday Night Football, this game got really interesting this last week, and I kind of like storylines like this a lot. I find them very entertaining. Basically, Eli Manning is going to be starting this game because Daniel Jones, he sprained his ankle or something. Anyway, Eli's record as a starter is 116 wins and 116 losses. No ties that I know of. Isn't it just like the most fitting thing, if this is somehow Eli's last start, that this decides whether he retires as a winner, quote unquote, like a winning record, or a loser? That's so, I love storylines like that. I know it means nothing because obviously he's already won 2 Super Bowls. I personally don't view him as a Hall of Famer, but that's just me. Don't get at me. I think the Hall of Fame should be reserved for the greatest players. And then the Eagles, you think at 5-7 or whatever the record is, they'd be like out, but they're in the NFC East, which is such a terrible division that they're only a game behind the Cowboys. So they're still like alive, and they need to win this game. So this is entertaining. This is a good Monday Night Football game, and I'll definitely be excited to watch it. And I will pick. I'm basically picking whether I think Eli is gonna. My heart wants me to pick the Giants. I'll pick the Giants. I don't trust the Eagles anyway. I'm picking the Giants. Eli will go end his career at like a .501 like win-loss ratio or whatever, which is kind of hilarious. So, all right, those are my Week 14 NFL picks. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave your thoughts down below. Who do you guys think is going to win this week? What's your team? Do you think they'll have a good matchup? Yeah. So, until next time, this has been Mighty Gazelle. Hoping you all have a mighty day. See you guys.